let's do a Q&A session on equips, because I actually saw quite a few people asking some equipment questions, and I think it would be good to go over how to approach that. So the first question that I saw asked earlier that I kind of answered sort of. The question that was asked was, so not even whales are able to fully max all equipment, and the answer is yes. Not even whales can fully max equipment. And everyone should follow this approach. Not just whales, not just free to play, everyone. And that is because of the limited amount of Black Ash promotion stones that you can acquire, because it is a pretty limited resource. I have quite a few right now, but that's an unusual amount for me to have. Normally, I don't have this much. But the best way to approach this is that you're going to level up your weapon, your ring, and your gloves as a priority. And the reason is because these three slots, as you enhance them, give you attack. Then the rest of your gear, as you get extra black ash stones, you will slowly catch them up at a lag after you've got your main three weapon, ring, and gloves enhanced. So like you can see here, I'm at 224 on my gloves, ring, and weapon, and plus 199 on the rest of my gear. Now with the amount that I have, arguably I could go ahead and spend it all here, but I'm not going to at the moment. Well, what I'm explaining is for DPS. That's correct, Ken. Yeah, I'm explaining this from a DPS perspective. If you are a tank, then it would not make sense for you to prioritize this, and it would be better for you to actually level evenly, or even, yeah, I would say leveling evenly is better for a tank, because then you have the ability to get more defense and HP, and it is quite a significant amount. The HP that you get and defense that you get is quite a significant amount. So if you're a tank, it would probably be better to level up evenly. Xmas says weapon, ring, and what was the third? It's weapon, ring, and gloves. Those are the three for both DPS and healers. The same X-Man for healers. So remember that attack scales your healing, right? Attack scales your healing, so you would also take the same approach. D-Bar says, hope you're doing great. Hope you are as well. I have a quick question. When is it good to swap to Shiver set from Icicle? Should I wait to upgrade them before changing? I'm a DPS class. So you can actually pretty soon into class change 2 transition into Shiver. And what you're going to want to achieve is what I have here, which is going to be 4 pieces of Shiver and 2 pieces of Icicle. So you're going to run the Icicle Greaves and Boots, and the 4 pieces of Shiver, which includes the Terror Legendaries, the Helm, the Weapon, and the Chest piece. The exact level that I would recommend doing this is going to be probably, rather than saying a specific level, when you have your weapon around like T8, T9, T10, you would probably justify swapping it in over the Icicle Blade. For your helm and your chest, you could pretty much swap right away. Reed says the priority for tanks is going to be defense over attack over HP. Thanks for that, Reed. So yeah, that makes sense actually, yeah. So if you're a tank, you should prioritize defense first, followed by attack and HP. Okay, that makes sense. El Carter asks, is Natto already using the Master accessory? Is she using the Haste accessory? I believe she is using the... Yeah, she's still using the Haste accessory. And I'm also still using the Haste accessory. And this is important. This is important. If you're a Nightweaver, you're going to want to keep your attack speed up to the floor of 174% eventually, so you can get the maximum number of blazing shadow debuffs. So you need 174 attack speed to get over 12 stacks. If I swap to the mastery here, I physically can't get enough haste from a numerical point of view to get back to 174% attack speed, because I'm already almost capped on numerical haste. So actually for me in Nightweaver, I'm never going to swap to the mastery. At least not for like a long time. In order for me to swap to the mastery one, I would have to go into my artifacts here and get every single one of these haste percentage bonds here, which 1, 2, I think there's 3 somewhere, or is it just, yeah, 3. So once I get these 3 haste percentages from the resonance bonus there, then I might be able to get enough haste to get 174 attack speed while swapping to the mastery accessories. But until that point, I wouldn't do that. Okami says, I'm a DPS and I level all evenly. I don't know when to stop promoting those non-weapon gloves ring. Yeah, I hear you, Okami. I mean, it's up to you. It's up to how many black ash stones you can collect. But generally speaking, I'm going as a DPS around 25 levels above the rest of the gear. Reticle says, how much should you spend on recasting? That's a very vague question, and it depends very heavily on what part of the progression you're in. As we are where we sit in class change 2, there's a much longer time duration in between getting new gear upgrades. So generally speaking, like, it's a bit hard to say. I mean, when you know you're going to equip a piece for a very long time, like for example, I've had my icicle boots and greaves on for like forever now. For like almost a month I've had them on, it feels like. And so I'm fine with having invested a fair amount. I'm not even that perfect on here. But generally speaking, it's relative to how long you know you'll have the piece on for. And if it's something you know you'll have equipped for quite a while, then you can really feel fine investing quite a lot in it. Like for me personally, my worst pieces have taken 2 to 3 million recasting material, raw material, to get a good roll in it. But I've only done that when I know it's a piece I'll wear for a long time. So like accessories, for example, I almost never go all out on because they get swapped all the time. Like even now I'm using a 218 and I have here in my bag a 224. But I'm not going to swap to it because I have a really good roll on my 218 and I don't want to waste the recasting materials to try to get this to get close to this. It's just not worth it. Should certain gear pieces have certain stats? Or should it all be random to achieve the stats needs? Can you clarify your question, Mercury? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Fork Trader, yes. I'll answer your question quickly even though it's not gear related. Can we have multiple orange accuracy stickers on mount? Yes, you can have as many accuracy stickers as you can get, yes. No, we haven't covered mounts, but we'll talk about mounts in a bit. My artifact levels are lower than you expected. Thought they were all 9-ish. I have a lot of 9s. It's just hard, yeah. As a healer, regarding recasting, should I only focus on crit determination? Currently, I'm running attack, crit, and determination on recast. So, Boreal, again, it depends what stage of progression you're in. The answer to your question is you're going to want to basically get the best of what you can. So, crit determination, mastery, haste are going to be what you really should be aiming for. And attack would be a lower priority after those four. Crit determination, mastery, haste, and then attack, and then accuracy as a healer. Accuracy would be your least favorite roll. But you don't want to just like if you got like haste, mastery, and crit, keep it. Don't try to then roll to determination and crit and something else. Nicola asks, when will I change my helm and gloves? You're on CC1 right now. If you're talking about the power gloves, you'll probably change them towards the end of class change 1. Towards the end of class change 1, you'll go to a full icicle. When we get to new rift at level 70, it's going to be terror weapon and helm, icicle pants and boots, and blackrock chest and gloves. No, Zone, you would probably run... Oh man, I've forgotten what the combo is. I know it involves the weapon. So I think it would actually be... Ideally, you'd run weapon and gloves, but the gloves don't... So the problem is this. When you unlock level 70, you're not going to get glove crystals yet. You only get weapon and greaves. And the next one you can see we get weapon, greaves, and boots. And then only when we get here do we finally get weapon, greaves, boots, gloves, and everything. So you would run weapon and gloves, but the only source of crystals for gloves until you get to this final difficulty at 100 plus is probably only going to be in the Rift store here. I'm assuming in Rift Supply we're going to get all of the crystals here. I don't know because I haven't looked into the other versions of the game. But yeah, you would run weapon and gloves of Blackrock, helm and chest of Terror, and greaves and boots of Icicle. And you would run this until close to the end of Class Change 2. And close to the end of Class Change 2, you would run full Blackrock. I actually made a video, and I would recommend to anyone who's watching to check that video out. It's a video that is specifically about what split gear combinations you will run all the way until the later class changes. Now, one thing that's important to note, and you should hear this right now, the whole concept of splitting gear sets no longer works after the end of Class Change 2. After the end of Class Change 2, you will no longer run split gear sets. You will only run full 6-piece legendary of the most recently unlocked set. So the whole concept of splitting gear only works up until the end of Class Change 2, and from that point on, for all future progression, you're going to be running full 6-piece of the most recently unlocked set. That's how that's going to work. Zone says, good, I'm excited for no longer splitting gear. I agree with you, yeah, I agree with you. It's actually quite nice because when you have a full high-level gear set, it means you no longer have to take sacrifices, like, for example, the fact that these lower-level pieces I'm running are giving less numerical stats than a really high level of a higher set would be giving me. So yeah, it's definitely very nice to have.